Hi, students. So today I was going to just talk about climate policy in general. There's really no or very little sea level rise policy when it comes to it in terms of like national level sea level rise policy, with the exception of like we talked about yesterday, countries like the Netherlands that are so invested in this as a matter of survival. But when we look at climate policy, there's a lot more information, and this document that I'm posting here um, talks about the rankings of country in terms of their climate policies, and climate policies would be things related to greenhouse gas reduction, renewable energy, investment in clean technology, things like that. And in the same sense, these would be the countries that would be most likely to have national or regional sea level rise, uh, not necessarily policy, but strategies. And so we see here the top countries here are Portugal. I'm not sure why it says four because Portugal's ranked one. Finland, Morocco, Sweden. These are all the sort of countries that we would expect. The Scandinavian countries are here: United Kingdom, France, Norway, Netherlands, okay, like we talked about yesterday, and the European Union as a whole. And then we see Canada here. And then also notably, we see China in the top in terms of climate policy, just because the Chinese are really thinking about clean energy and they are investing big time in solar energy. They've really taken the lead there. Okay, so then we look at the lower half, and these are countries that are not doing a good job. And it's not surprising when we see the United States is second last here. I'm actually a little surprised that Japan is so low as well. Australia is a country that's really interesting because Australia is under the threat of climate change more than almost any other country. I mean, there are countries in sub-Saharan Africa that are under the threat for climate change, but Australia is going to be, it's going to dry out and it's going to burn. And we see that already. Temperatures across Australia are rising. Droughts are life threatening, and fires are terrible in Australia. And it's just starting up this year. They're already seeing record breaking temperatures that are going to no doubt lead to massive fires. And so they're a country that really has to worry about climate change for their livelihood, for things like farming and other aspects of their livelihood. But yet their policy is notably terrible, and it's a very political fact. They have the same political division that we have in the United States. So Australia has done very poorly when with respect to climate policy, and there we see the United States, where we're pretty paralyzed, as you can imagine, by the political situation in this country, and the lack of leadership in terms of promoting climate policy. I'm talking about at the top levels of our government. There's a lot of great leadership, in think tanks and locally and regionally, like places like California, Oregon, and Washington. There's a lot of leadership there, the northeastern states. But at the top levels of our national government, it's been very lacking. And I think, like I said before, that's one reason why sea level policy is so regional and local, is because we don't have a national strategy when it comes to climate in general. All right, so that's it for today.